Broadcasting live from the only establishment in town that can't kick him out, his own basement. The world according to Rocket.
It is I, Rocket Man, and as promised, the first scrimmage is in the books. Coach Heupel had a bunch to say about it, and there's not one thing that I didn't like that I heard. I'm lying. There is one thing. It's all butterflies and unicorns and national championships, except for Cooper Mays, the center. I think he's maybe a little dinged up after the first week of fall camp. He had to have some sort of procedure yesterday. I don't know exactly what that was, but I will find out. But Heupel is pretty excited about what's going on, and that makes me excited as well. Enjoy the press conference.
Really good day out there, great energy. We got some special teams work, some live work for those guys, which I think is really important at this point in training camp. Really like what our specialists have done up until this point, but really good for the guys that are covering our blocking to get some live work. Offensively and defensively, really good day. I think we got out relatively clean today too, and which is important. But I thought defensively, great energy, great effort. In particular, really early in the scrimmage, did a great job against the run early too, and got off the field on some third downs. And offensively, created some plays on the back half of the scrimmage, run game, and a couple plays in the pass game too. So all in all, really good day. We got a lot ahead of us. We got to grow, and that starts this afternoon when they come back to us too. But all in all, really excited about what happened today. Open it up.
Coach, could you talk about where you were at center today, what you saw at center, and kind of what's the latest on Cooper's situation?
Yeah, I figured somebody would go right to that based on yeah, that's right. You're the senior guy in the room, so it goes to you. Is that right? Coop had a minor procedure late yesterday, and he'll be back. He'll be healthy as we get close to kickoff. Anticipate that being a couple-week deal. But today we rotated through a bunch of guys. Ollie, Parker Ball, young guys, Vicen, Addison Nickel, and those guys are all competing for those spots. All of those guys have taken some reps, even when Cooper's here too, as we continue to look for that backup center spot.
Brenton and Ryan. Austin and Ryan.
That's kind of Joe today, just kind of from an operations standpoint. And then how did Ollie do from an operations standpoint at center? Just because he's kind of getting shuffled in there now, having played a lot of guard, not much center.
Yeah, Ollie really smart, played a lot of football, has played multiple positions, has repped at the three interior spots since the time that we've gotten here. He's been really good. The communication, the mechanics, us being able to play with tempo the way that we want to when it presents itself. It's been really easy for him to transition inside. Joe, I thought operationally was really good. There's some situational stuff that we can be better, coming out situation. We did some 4-minute things at the end as well. So it's a great opportunity. Coaches are completely off the sidelines. Coaches are up in the box. Guys got to learn how to operate in between the white lines. So there's growth in that way for Joe. All in all, really pleased with his decision making. What he did with the football all day long, his command.
Josh, I'm assuming we didn't see a lot of Wesley Walker and Mary McDonald today. What's their status right now, and just what things in the secondary right now with the health situation? Yeah,
those guys are in a good spot. We've held them here the last couple of days. Nothing long term, just based on loads and what they've been doing. Wanted to protect them today. Those guys will be with us here as we move forward. Those guys have played really well in the secondary, and anticipate them playing at a really high level as we keep pushing forward.
Rob, then Brent.
Coach, receiver, did anybody stand out, and how close are you to, I guess, maybe narrow it down to what your rotation might look like?
Yeah.
Before you get to the ball, turn it. One shot. That's how long it takes. Dead straight.
I think the rotation piece is going to be a little bit fluid with all of those guys. some of our young guys continue to grow and make some real strides too. Chaz Nimrod, Caleb Webb. The 4 older guys continue to push and compete. I like what they've been doing. They've operated really efficiently in what we're doing offensively and within the scheme of what we're doing. I think they're playing with great fundamentals and techniques. So all in all, I like what they're doing. The back half of training camp, we're essentially at the halfway point as far as pure training camp before we get into school. Back half of it will be really important too.
Coach, is Dante a slot for bouncing around, or do you know?
Dante's got the ability to play both, and I think for us this year we probably have a little bit more mobility, guys that can do multiple things within the offense than probably how we've played them the first couple of years that I've been here.
You mentioned the defensive front, and you mentioned how well they played against the run early. How deep are you there, and how encouraged are you where that defensive front is?
Yeah,
halfway through?
the run game part of it, the defensive line, right, interior and guys on the edge. But I thought our backers did a great job fitting gaps, and our safeties were involved in it too. And for a first scrimmage, I thought there was a positive sign of just our tackling in space. So I thought that was a real positive. Defensively as a whole, you guys have heard me say it before. When we got here, a lot of the kids that had left the program, not all of them, but a lot of them were on the defensive side of the football. And we've been thin the first couple of years. We added some depth last year that helped us take a step, in particular in the run defense. Feel like we are continuing to add some real depth and competition. And that leads itself to real competition on practice. Who's going to be the first one running out? How many snaps each guy's going to play? But the competition on the practice field in the meeting rooms, a coach's best friend, and we have that. That's in the interior. It's out on the edges too. The athleticism, the ability to rush the passer, not just defend the run, it's also showing up here in training camp too. I like some of the strides that we've taken.
Adam and Ben.
When you talked about Joe and how he handles different situations, are you wanting him to process the offense more? What specifically do you want?
Processing the offense, he's operating and handling at a really high level right now. Decision making, understanding protections, how to get himself protected or throw hot. His eyes as far as what he's seeing from the second level pre-snap and on the snap, he's been really good at that part of it. Situational football for the quarterback, continuing to grow just in understanding, 4-minute situation, which we did from a backed up situation today, clock management, all of those things are just a continued part of all of those guys' growth, from Joe all the way to Gaston Moore and everybody that's in the room.
Josh, with the offensive line and trying to figure things out right now going up against that defensive front, I imagine they're taking their lumps here and there, but in the long run, how much is that going to help them as you all get into the season?
Well, I think, having to move some pieces around a little bit, guys working, at guard, at center, it's tough because you're in multiple situations. It's not like you're just going into a day. Depending on the period, we kind of cycle through so they get a little bit of that throughout the course of every single practice. You want practice to be more difficult than it is on game day. And so as we try to put the pieces together and how guys are going to play, in the long run, it's going to make us a lot stronger unit. And there's times you're really fortunate at every position or on the O-line and D-line where, you stay healthy for most of the season. But a lot of times it isn't that way. And you can go back to year one and, 2 or 3 plays in the game, we lose a tackle, and the next guy's got to be ready to play. So we've gotten a lot of work where I feel like they'll be cohesive when you have your 5 starters, but at the same time, we've gotten some rotational stuff that I think will pay dividends as the year unfolds.
Paige, then Patrick.
Your running back unit, specifically at Jabari Small, how he's developing and coming back from his injuries, and then Dylan Sampson and the strides he's been able to make.
Yeah, I talked about the defensive line. I thought as the scrimmage went on, the running back group did a really nice job. Jalen Wright had some really nice runs, reading the what's happening up front with our blocking schemes, doing a great job of pressing it, a nice big run. I thought Jabari played really well. It was important for him to get some live work too, missing the spring. Dylan Sampson did a great job in the run game, pass game too. The young guys inside of our program, all 3 young guys, have been really promising, and excited about that group. Coach Mack has done a great job with them.
Josh, you touched on Wesley and McDonald being out. Obviously, kind of at center. What are you doing at that star position? Are you some other guys getting different looks there with those guys?
Yeah, there's multiple guys that have been rotating. From Warren Burrell, Jordan Thomas, there's been multiple guys that have played that position, and we're trying to find the right fit as you find the right five to be out on the field. You want your best five out there, and how you put the pieces together of how you rotate those guys as well.
With Warren being a cornerback, is it his experience that lets him kind of move over that way and kind of know what to do?
Well, I think he's extremely bright, right, and being able to handle playing on the edge at corner, which he has a lot of experience at, but his total understanding of the principles and schemes and responsibilities and where your eyes need to be allow him to transition and take some snaps at that. His ability to understand, your gap fits off of that too are really important. So he's an intelligent player that's been here for a while, and that's a part of why, we've been able to play him at that spot.
Austin and Eric.
Ethan Davis and McAllen Castles, kind of what did you see out of them today, and how much have they brought to that room, a room that's not super deep?
Yeah, both those guys will play a ton of football. At this point, really believe that both of them will play at a really high level when they're out there on the field. McAllen and really both of them are so much further ahead than they were when they finished spring ball. Both of them are seasoned in what we're doing offensively. McAllen's been really good out on the perimeter. Ethan Davis is too. It's really natural for those guys to be playmakers out in space. That's true today. It's been true through the first 7 practices before we got out here too. Have the ability to be dynamic in the pass game. Both of them have gotten really comfortable and continue to grow inside the core too. And Callie, I thought yesterday was his best day inside the core. Really pleased with what those guys are doing.
Eric.
As you work through fall camp trying to find, 5 guys up front, cohesiveness and all that, how valuable are guys like Gerald Mincy and Dane Davis have versatility, can flip sides, maybe even slot inside if need be?
Yeah, we've rotated our tackles a bunch. Guys that have played on the left side, right side, their experience, their understanding of what we're doing, but their experience just in general and the ability to flip everything, from fundamentals and technique to scheme. Give us flexibility that you don't always have, and from JJ to John and the rest of the group, been excited about where we're at, but how we're trending too at those positions. They compete really hard every single day. They compete with each other, but they do it in a really positive way. That O-line group's extremely tight, and I think you guys have seen that here the 3 years that Coach Ellerby's been here.
Paige and Adam.
Coach Ellerby spoke pretty highly of Sprague, saying that he's probably going to be one of the guys that makes the biggest jump on tape this season. Did you see anything special out of him today, or just kind of through fall camp as well?
First of all, he's got great energy every single day. He's the same competitor. That's a part of why he's climbed personally, but he's got great influence on the offensive line unit, but our offense in general, and really our football team. He's a huge part of the energy that we have at practice every single day. He's been hyper focused on how he can grow to be the best player that he can be. You guys know he's going to play with great effort and be extremely physical. Off season continue to change his body. Fundamentally, I think he's continuing to grow. In particular, I think that pays dividends in pass pro situations.
I'm sure you want to be patient with Nico because he's a freshman, but you want to push him because he's the backup. What's your philosophy on balancing those two things?
Dude, you gotta grow. You gotta grow. You gotta be pushed. We install it. He's running everything. Man, you've heard me say that when they finish spring ball, when they come back, beginning of training camp, they should be a different player. He's a different player. He's got great command and understanding of what we're doing, understands protections, understands, how he's got to get us out of, it could be run check, pass run checks, whatever it might be. And he hasn't been perfect, but he's grown. One of the things that we talk about is not making the same mistake twice. He doesn't make the same mistake twice. He learns from it. There's a rep yesterday is he's going through his reading progression. Tight window on the inside, throws the ball. While he's standing in the pocket, you can see him visually like, hey, man, I should have got out to the next one outside. He's intentional and has great work habits.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thank you.
Guys, have a great afternoon.
As always, if you like this content on the channel, please like and hammer that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video. Go Big Orange. This episode of today's broadcast is brought to you by my friends at LuxuryTravelNashville.com. You can see it right up there in the address bar, right? Our buddies, Dockery Destinations. Man, look, here's one of the things about using a travel agent when you travel, all right? It's very important that you do that. Some people like the aggravation of doing it, right? But this is what this fine company does. They save you that aggravation of setting all the things up, setting all the connections up, planning the itineraries and that sort of thing. They can help you so much if you are not one of those people that likes to get into the weeds and into the details of it. And that's why I am so happy to have them as a sponsor of this show. Now, all you do is you unlock your dream trip with our personal discovery call. You just give them a call, and they'll sit down and talk to you for a bit, and you'll find out if they're a good fit for you and vice versa. And look at this website. This website's cool. They got a lot of great comments and quotes about traveling. Like, I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. That's one of my very favorite quotes on the website. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Hey, listen, if you like the show and you're thinking about traveling, hey, what's it going to cost you? A few minutes for a phone call? Give them a call. And you can do it at 615-863-1263. 615-863-1263. LuxuryTravelNashville.com.